Hello students, Dr. Freeman here again, and this is going to be my first brief lecture on grammar. No, I know. As soon as I mention the word grammar, some of you are going into shock. Some of you are experiencing PTSD symptoms right now, and some of you are saying, like, dude, I really liked this guy before you started talking about grammar. I mean, I know it's a writing class, but dude, come on. Alright, but don't worry. I'm going to try to make grammar painless and perhaps even enjoyable and fun. First, let me state the obvious. I'm sure you've noticed we do not have a grammar book for this class. Why did I not assign a grammar book for this class? That's a good question. I'll tell you why. In order to get a grammar textbook published, you're competing with many people for the job. And in order to prove to the publisher that he or she should hire you, you want to prove that you're smarter than all of those other people who want to write grammar textbooks. So what do? You use big words. And so you fill your grammar book with big words. And by the time it gets to a student, it has so many big words in it that the student doesn't understand. It might as well be written in Sanskrit. But more than that, your publisher wants to charge students $80 for the book. So what does he or she do? He or she tells you to make the book about 200 pages. So then what happens? So then you decide to take 20 pages to teach students something that you could have taught them in 3 pages in order to justify the high price of a book that isn't useful in the first place because it wasn't written for the students in the first instance. Do you follow me? So together you and I are just going to sidestep that whole operation because I don't work for a textbook company. I work for you. Now, that sounded like a political campaign. I'm sorry. All right. So what I would like you to do now is go into the course and pull up the document that says sentence types. It simply says sentence types. And then I want you to print that document out because it will be helpful for you to read it. And you can pause the video now before I start talking about the document. Pause the video now. Okay, hope you enjoyed that pause. So now you have the document in front of you, and let me tell you, good writing can be boiled down to the utilization of these 6 sentence types. In fact, you can write a paper both in undergraduate school and in graduate school and make straight A's and never use a sentence that isn't on this sheet. These are the most classic, most elegant sentence types. All right? If you practice utilizing them, the quality of your writing will increase, and you'll also know the answer to the question that has haunted students for millennia. The question being, where do commas go? Now, I know what some of you have been taught. Some of you have been taught that commas go where people pause. That is not the correct method to use. Because contingent upon the part of the country that you live in, people might pause in different places, or they might pause more or less often, or they might never pause. For example, in New York, some people talk so fast, they almost never take a breath. Did you hear what the president said last night? He said that he was going to decrease the spending on welfare. I don't think that's right because a lot of people need welfare. Well, I disagree. I think welfare should be decreased because a lot of people abuse it. Okay, compare that to what I often heard from family members in Alabama and Georgia. Now, not all my family members talk like this, but some do. Note how many pauses they take. Well, let me see. It's so good to see you. The other day I went to the store and I wanted to get some milk. And I walked up to John, and John said, well, Steve, I think they put the milk in that aisle. But then again, wait a minute, Sarah, she worked here last night. Now, she might have put it in that aisle. Are you going to put a comma everywhere that person pauses? You're going to be comma bankrupt pretty soon if you do. So we are not going to use the pause method. No! How do we know where commas go? You'll also understand that answer after you review with me this document. Okay? So let's look at the first sentence type. The president gave an exciting speech. Okay, notice there's no extra information, no background information. It's just the meat of the sentence. For the purposes of this class, we're going to call the meat of the sentence, the part of the sentence that can stand alone as a sentence without any extra accoutrements, No background information, just the heart of the sentence. For the purposes of this class, we're going to call the meat of the sentence the main course. So write main course beside that first type 1 sentence. Okay? Type 1 is just the main course. Now look at type 2. Hoping to inspire more votes, comma, the president gave an exciting speech. Notice I've underlined the main course and I've put brackets around the background information. Hoping to inspire more votes is background information. It's not the main course. For the purposes of this class, we're going to call the background information the side dish. So type 1, you've just got the main course. The president gave an exciting speech. Type 2, you've got the side dish, which is background information, hoping to inspire more votes, and then the main course. The president gave an exciting speech. And now you've probably guessed where commas go. The role of a comma, the job of a comma is simply this: to separate the main course from the side dish. In type 2, the side dish comes first. Hoping to inspire more votes, the president gave an exciting speech. Now, how do you know you've correctly identified the side dish? It's easy. If you cover up the side dish, you'll always still have a main course left over. So cover up that side dish in brackets in type 2, and you see you'll still have left over the president gave an exciting speech. If you can cover something up and still have a sentence left over, chances are you've identified a side dish. Kabish. All right, now, let's look at type 3. In type 2, the side dish came first. In type 3, the side dish comes after the main course. The president gave an exciting speech, comma, hoping to inspire more votes. You still with me? Not very difficult, right? Why do they make this stuff so hard in high school? All right? And notice in type 3, again, the comma is separating the main course from the side dish. That is its role. Now, look at type 4. Type 4 is a bit tricky. The president, comma, hoping to inspire more votes, comma, gave an exciting speech. If you would be so kind, please write a S above president and then write a V above gave. I've requested that you write an S above president because that is the subject of the sentence, and I requested that you write a V above gave because that is the verb of the sentence. And in a type 4 sentence, the side dish is placed between the subject and the verb. And because we separate side dishes from main courses with commas, you need a comma on both sides, okay, of the side dish. So you have the president, comma, hoping to inspire more votes, comma, gave an exciting speech. You often see this or hear this sentence type in the news because for some reason they think it sounds more polished. The president, hoping to inspire more votes, gave an exciting speech. Okay, did you feel that CNN energy coming from me? Maybe it was a little bit more Fox News, I don't know. I'm not blind, so maybe not Fox News. Anyway, catch that joke? Okay, moving on. Type 5. So in type 4, notice that in type 4, the side dish is in the middle. But in type 5, the main course is in the middle, and you have side dishes on both sides. So again, you're going to need two commas. So here we go. Hoping to inspire more votes, comma, there's my side dish. The president gave an exciting speech, there's my main course, comma, which was quite moving, and there's my side dish. Side dish, main course, side dish. Comma separating the main course from the two side dishes on both sides. Are you still with me? Are you feeling your brilliance arise because you're more confident in your grammatical knowledge? Can you believe that grammar could be this simple? Aren't you happy? Don't you want to like start breakdancing right now? I know you do. I know you do. All right, moving on. Type 6 or type 6. Okay, that was a little breakdance move. Okay, don't try to copy my moves, please. That move was copywritten. I will sue you if you do that move on the dance floor. All right, moving on. Type 6. Type 6 features two main courses joined by a conjunction in this course and. So here's the type 6 sentence. The president gave an exciting speech, comma, and it was very well received by the audience, period. The president gave an exciting speech, that is a main course. It was very well received by the audience, that is also a main course. And of course it's joined by the conjunction and. Now, the pivotal question, a question that has already arisen in many of your minds. Dr. Freeman, is the comma before and absolutely necessary? The answer, no. Because language is not math, sometimes you can do something or not do it and be correct in both instances. If you don't have the comma there, that's fine. But if you want your reader to pause before reading the second part of the sentence, then you would add the comma there. In other words, if you want the reader to read both parts of the sentence equally, no comma. But if you want your reader to give special attention to the second part of the sentence, I would recommend putting a comma before and that will cause your reader to pause. All right? Are we clear? I'm not saying you determine where commas go by determining where people pause in their speech. That's different. I am saying that if you want your reader to pause, you can do that by inserting a comma. Those are two very different things. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to text me, call me, or email me. I hope you enjoyed our first grammatical lesson together. I hope it gave you warm, fuzzy feelings. I hope some of you are determined to become grammatical gods. Because after all, isn't that what learning is about? Becoming a god? No, perhaps not. But I hope you learned something. Give me a call if you have any questions. See you later. Bye-bye.